I'm gonna ask you. You answer from your personal experience, like I don't know you.
Do you know
What
me?
what is discipline and specifically self discipline to you? How does that look?
So it's funny, where I teach martial arts, we break discipline down super simplistically.
I don't think I've heard this.
Yeah, it's easy. So self discipline is doing what you're supposed to without being told.
Oh, it's some like child saying. But just like Bruce Lee said, great philosophy can teach the young and the old and everybody in between. And it's so simple.
So
Like, and it's because, with my deep beliefs in Jesus is Christ and he's our savior, it's like he says some things that can be simple, but they're so complex. And also, God has these expectations, not really expectations, I should say, more so things that will please him that will please him. And he put inside all of us to know what good is. That's why when I teach anybody, especially kids, I teach them this phrase, mind, body, spirit. I use my mind to think. I use my body to move. And I use my spirit to spread love. And the reason why the spread love part is very important is because that's channeling that source that God put into us to intuitively know what's good. So you say the phrase again.
self discipline is doing what you're supposed to without being told.
Such a just simple and profound saying.
Yeah,
Put that on the screen.
I know, right?
Let it sit there for a while.
So, what is discipline to you in your experience?
Discipline, in my experience, it's pretty simple from what you just explained. Excuse me. But discipline to me is just being able to self-correct. Self-correction.
That's
So,
a big part, yeah.
There's this book he put me on. I'll let him talk about it. He already knows what it is. And then I'll talk about the book that I have. So go ahead, talk about Atomic Habits.
I was about to say it was
by
Atomic
James
Habits.
Clear.
Atomic Habits by James Clear. If you don't know what a habit is, this book breaks it down simplistically in 4 steps. Habits are what help us continue the longevity of what we want, what we don't want. Habits are how we get and make the building blocks and reach towards the goals that we want. And you don't even have to reach that far if you build a good system of habits. So all these habits that I've built up over the years, the good ones, I'm going to keep those. The ones that are not so good, it takes a long time to change them, because think about how many years I've probably done these habits.
I was in counseling.
Now it's changing, right?
I was in counseling, and one thing he was saying, in order to change a habit, it takes at least 6 months.
6 months. That's changing one habit.
One habit, let alone I want to do this, I want to do that, but then if I do this, and if I...
Oh, that's going back to our phrase, what we said.
I've always wanted to, but... So, talk a little bit more, because I think it was really cool, the idea of the self-correction, for what I see discipline as, the idea of that 1% growth. What, every day?
1% growth.
Every week? Every however much you said. I think in this day and age, we're so used to instant gratification. I can order something and it'll be here tomorrow. I don't even have to go to the store.
You could get your groceries, not even get up from your couch.
Now that just
we could make literal couch potatoes. You know what I mean?
So back to the 1% growth. I think because of this instant gratification era that we live in, people want to see exponential growth in the matter of 6 months, in a year, in even 5 years. You know what I'm saying? And
can't change
we've
a
been
five-
doing martial arts for 23 years, and I'm just now feeling comfortable, not because I didn't know I was capable, but feeling comfortable knowing like, oh, I know something.
Mm-hmm.
I've always had the mindset of like, I'm a student.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning. I need to constantly learn. I need to constantly get better.
And to learn and get better, self-correction is one of the best things you can do. If you don't know how to self-correct, go somewhere that somebody can help correct it. It's kind of like
Counseling.
learning. It's like learning a language, right? Yeah, counseling is one, but like learning a language.
I do the one about the letters.
The letters?
Yeah, breaking down the alphabet.
Yeah, breaking. I mean, literally, you gotta. I said this a little bit in the last podcast, but you really have to start from the basics. Really start building from those habits, knowing what those are. Habits become automatic. Let's say that again. Habits become automatic the more you do them. That's
Automated.
why. That's why we have habits, so that it can automate all
just
these
happens.
things. That so we don't have to use brain power and allocate energy
Right.
to something else. So we can use that brain power and focus it towards what we really prioritize or think needs to be. But say you have a bad habit and that's built in there, that's automatic.
Right. So
That
It's-
actually brings me to the next point. But unless you want to talk about that book, you
no,
said.
I don't know what the next point that you had was, but go ahead.
That's awareness.
Awareness is right there on the board. You see, I wasn't aware. I wasn't aware. See what happens? I could have known what he was talking about. The twin telepathy.
I literally told him to. The third point, we got 3 bullet points.
awareness.
Open your eyes. That's right. So
Right.
let me ask you, since you clearly weren't aware, what is awareness to you?
Awareness is let's say it depends on what context you're looking at it. So awareness of the mind, I'm gonna break it down: mind, body, spirit. Awareness of the mind. Where are you in your mental space? What does it feel like? What does it give you? What energy does it put into your body? Matter of fact, you can even take it a step further and visualize. What is the
Visualization.
state of my? I do this thing where if there's a habit that I want to break, I imagine the habit as a just dilapidated house that's taking up space in my mind. And I know in order to get rid of it, I got to clear it off and start with a new foundation. So I literally, to be aware of my mind, is this something that's happening? Is that? Give it something and destroy it and start off new. Awareness of the mind, awareness of the body. What's pain am I feeling?
That's important.
What tightness am I feeling in my body?
Are you
the-
aware of that tightness?
Am I aware of it?
Because
Am I just used
I've
to
talked
sitting like this?
Yeah, I've talked to plenty of people. They're like,
Oh, you heard that?
yeah, I just heard your
Ooh.
neck pop. Look at you. You loosened it
Wasn't
up?
it? Ooh.
Okay. But I talked to plenty of people where it's like, I can like put my hand on their shoulder, not during COVID, but I can put my hand on their shoulder and feel their tightness. And I'm like, do you feel how tense you are here?
Like, no,
Can you relax it?
it's normal.
No, I am relaxed.
Oh, you know, this day and age, I'm gonna turn towards the camera, and for all you listeners who just hear the audio,
Which
make
one?
sure
This
you,
camera you looking at there?
make sure you subscribe. I'm the middle camera. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. We're gonna put this up on YouTube and other platforms. But this day and age, this is what people do. Look at this.
I'm watching, seeing you.
What am I doing?
You're looking down.
What's wrong with that?
Oh, you're aware of what's on your screen, what's on your phone, what's happening on the internet, but you literally don't have awareness of what's happening in the room around you.
Shoot, let's not even worry about the room. What is my body doing?
Your body is slouching over forward.
Uh,
You got all this. If your head's heavy, kind of like his head is, it's gonna pull towards the ground.
I got a
this
big
way
head
and
too.
Give tension in the back of the neck here, which you really need to be able to release that tension to be able to think a little straighter. But that involves being aware that you're
Aware that
even-
you're doing that.
aware that you're doing it.
Right. Anyways, I'll give a quick tip. If you feel that and you want to correct it, just study your basic human anatomy in your body. That's important.
Mm-hmm.
Those are things you need to know, knowledge you need to know. I paid attention in biology class, even though I fell asleep in it. I paid enough attention. And we grew up with all nurses and doctors in our family.
Oh yeah.
So we kind of just had a crash course of and seeing like different situations as far as understanding actual bodily functions, not just paying attention in class. One thing you can do to correct looking down at the cell phone,
Bring
pull
it up.
Get
that chin straight,
get that
eyes
alignment
level.
on that spine. The spinal fluid needs to get to all those nerves.
I've always wanted to fix my posture, but this is tiring.
This is tiring. Guess what? You want to work on that bicep? Hold the phone up. You see that?
Yeah, you do
You
work
see
that
that?
bicep.
Work on it and then practice this. This is something I've been practicing. A position that seems hard to hold. And in my mind, I say, this actually shouldn't be hard to hold. So then I should be able to hold this position and not be tired. Easily.
Also,
that's another different body awareness.
Also, it's not in human nature to be holding up something like this for a really long time anyways. So that probably means when you get tired, put your phone down.
Put it down. Awareness of mind, body. Last thing, awareness of spirit. What is going on within you? Within you.
When you say, okay, can you explain within you? What do you mean within you?
So there's this kind of just unseen force. Everything this is what Dr. Tony Evans, everything that is physical and visible is connected to something invisible and spiritual. You can as above, so below.
You can think about it like this. We look at a tree, we see the trunk, we see the branches, we see the leaves, but you don't see the roots that it's still connected to.
And so that spirit is the root. That's the source. The Holy Spirit. That's the source. Truly, if you want peace and from all other things, that's a true source. But as far as awareness of spirit, I'm aware that's a spirit I want to be flowing through me as much as possible.
Spirit of love.
There's a spirit of hate. There's a spirit of anger, spirit of depression, all these other spirits that if you learn how to defend yourself spiritually, how to prepare your mind and your body,
they can just become a passing emotion that doesn't have to overtake you.
Right. Right. So as far as awareness, I know that was very long-winded, but awareness of mind, awareness of body, and awareness of spirit.
And what he's saying, it starts from within to be able to see without, right? And you also then, to me, if I want to, you can add on to that more awareness of the people around you. How are you connected with them? How am I connected with my family members? Are we even aware that we're having a connection? Are we aware that we're disconnected? It really spreads.
It can go in so many ways.